Hello everybody, back here again for vlog a day, and today is Friday the 26th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Woke up this morning insanely too early this morning. It was like a little bit before 4 a.m. I think it was, and I had a splitting headache. I was in so much pain I couldn't get comfortable, I couldn't move. Got up and went over into the bathroom. I couldn't even focus to see my watch to see what time it was. So I thought it was like 5. I looked back at my sleep tracker. It turned out it was 4 o'clock. And I don't know what happened there. So I did have a weird coughing fit shortly before that, which may have threw my neck out of whack in the process. I'm not sure if it had anything to do with it or not, but I was having really bad nightmares throughout the night. I had 3 different nightmares that were just horrendous. And then one super fucking odd one that was crazy, and they all kind of stemmed around my mom and just the turmoil that we have going since she had her big fright we had a while back, and just that not knowing where the hell everything is with her living in my house kind of thing. So woke up, I was able to get into the bathroom and was able to find the ibuprofen bottle. So I took 3 ibuprofen, which I couldn't even see. I literally just dumped them in my hand and counted them out, then took 3 ibuprofen, hoping that would help my headache and whatnot. So I went back, laid back down, did my best not to rile the dogs up. Had one of the dogs out in the dining room area, and that's where he stays at night, and their dog's in the bedroom with us, and luckily I didn't get riled up, so I didn't have to worry about trying to take them out or do anything with them. So laid around for a little bit. I'm not sure what time it was. It was a little bit before 6. I finally gave up. Couldn't find a comfortable spot. It was just, it was awful. But I finally got to where I could see, at least, I guess the best way to put it. My eyes were working better, so I was able to get up and move around. Went and let the dogs out, got them outside, got in the hot tub a little bit, hoping to loosen some of my muscles and relieve some of that stuff. So got that kind of stretched out a little bit the best I could, and then kind of hanging out a little bit. My lovely bride finally got up, and we were chatting for a couple minutes, and we've been talking a couple times about having to have a conversation with my mom about how things are going here and how she doesn't communicate with us anymore. She doesn't watch TV with us anymore. She doesn't do anything and stuff. And that constant fear that I'm going to say something that's going to offend her again, because apparently I came and joke in my own house with my mother, because last time I made a joke with her, she lost her mind and caused a fight that's lasted for weeks now. That's just been horrendous, and I don't want to live with the stress anymore. And the stress is fucking my body up. And one of the big things stress does to me is it comes out in physical ailments, usually in pain and sore muscles and tight and all that kind of stuff. So I decided, as I was kind of doing a few things, I saw mom in their doorway of her bedroom and let her know that, hey, 'cause I actually first asked my wife, I need to have a conversation with my mom about whether or not she's going to be able to stay living here kind of thing. And asked her, I said, hey, it's not your mom, it's my mom, I understand. Is this something you want to be involved in or not? She goes, well, if I'm involved in it, most of the time I do is sit there awkwardly as you two either fight or discuss, depending on how far it goes. But she was like, well, I kind of want to be there to support you though, whatnot. And I'm like, that's 100% to you. I'll do it without you or do it with you. I'm just asking you. You want me to do it before you get home from work, or shall we wait till you get home from work? And she said she wanted to wait till she got home from work so she could be there. And I said, deal. So as I was heading back to my humidor to get a cigar for the morning, I saw my mom in the doorway and basically told her good morning, and then told her that this evening I wanted to have a conversation about how things were going here and her living arrangements and that fun stuff. And she gets like all defensive, starts trying to talk about it. I said, we're not talking about now, we're talking about after work, after Karen gets home from work. I'm just giving you a heads up. I don't want to surprise shit on you. I want to give you a heads up, just so you know, we're gonna have a conversation this evening. So she kept trying to talk. I'm like, again, later, not right now. And she kept trying to say stuff. I'm like, no, not right now, later, just later. So I walked out, got my cigar, headed outside. My dog's wife stopped out, said goodbye to me. She headed off to work, and she also verified that I was gonna be able to take her father to the doctor appointment today. And I said, absolutely, I'll make that work. It's gonna be a little pain in the ass because I wasn't sure how the dogs were doing and stuff. I had ended up with 2 more dogs coming today, and they're kind of, the one especially, I don't trust him. He gets a little bit too rambunctious, still too young, and gets a little carried away kind of thing. And I didn't want to run the risk of that. So I was like, well, I'll probably just take him with me. And then I thought about taking two of them with me, but I thought, no, that one's be fine at the house and whatever. So I figured out, so I'll make it work no matter what. Worst case scenario, I'll take two with me, but I think we can just do it one and go from there. So when another dog gets dropped off that I watch quite often, don't have to do it as much anymore. We used to be a lot more often, and they go to the Mayo Clinic. Her husband gets treatments up there, and they never know when they're coming back. It could be 2 o'clock, could be 7 o'clock. You never really know. So went ahead and I said, absolutely, anytime you want to pick up, just give me a heads up. But just so you know, she was thinking it'd be about 3. And I said, well, if it's 3 o'clock, I probably won't be here because I got to get my father-in-law to the doctor. So best case scenario is, basically I'll give you a heads up. So she said, absolutely, sounds great. So they stopped by. I remind her again, there's a good chance you got to check with me before you head over to verify you're here, kind of thing, that I'm back from the doctor and stuff. And she said, absolutely, always do. And I said, perfect. So they head out. She drops the dog off. Dog is super excited to get here, man. She wants to go outside and play with other dogs. So I get her outside and she's out there playing with the dogs. And I put the crazy puppy, I put him up a little bit to kind of give her and the collie a bit to interact with each other. No, the crazy puppy out there, and they're all getting along fine. It's all good. No issues. It's just a lot of energy. So they're out there having the time of their life, having all the fun they can have. And then a little later, I get a text message from the second dog getting dropped off today, and she's here quite often as well. So she stopped by, and we all talked about the color of the house, and everybody drops by and talking about how much they love it and how much they like the house and yada yada, which is one of those things that, hey, you don't have to lie to me. If you don't like the color of my house and you look like shit, feel free to be honest with me. Didn't paint it for your judgment, but I appreciate people giving me their honest input on stuff. So went ahead, got that dog outside, and her big thing is she wants to pee on everything when she first gets here, man. She's the funniest little dog when it comes to that. So everybody's out, everybody's getting along splendid. Like, I got no issues at all. It's not gonna be that bad. Taking my phone to the doctor shouldn't be a problem. So hang outside for a while, get a little bit of the yard done, not too much, hanging around for a bit. And then I basically get a call from a gentleman who I was expecting to get a call from like Wednesday, because I had a client reach out because they had a friend of theirs that wanted to know if they could give my number to the guy because he needs to go up to New York, needs his dog watched for a time. They didn't say how long. Turns out it's like 3 weeks, maybe a month. I'm like, oh damn. So the guy calls. I'm like, where were you on Wednesday? Like, there was a little bit of me annoyed at this whole thing. I'm like, you really should have done this on Wednesday, because I would have said, hey, why don't you bring your dog over on Wednesday? I could have watched it for an overnight, saw how she done, because I usually never take dogs that long of a stay. And I said something about, we need to do a meet and greet so I can at least meet your dog, asking kind of how she is around her dogs and stuff, and back and forth and whatever. So he's like, well, we can do it, da da da. And I said, well, I gotta take my father-in-law to the doctor like almost right now. So the best thing I can do for you is when I get back, I'll reach out to you and try and schedule a time, come over for a meet and greet. He said that'll work fine. So I was like, okay, we'll go from there. And the way he described the dog, I think it should be fine, but it's like a pit lab mix or something, and you never know what you're gonna get in these situations and how they're raised. So although he does say he takes the dog, like dog parks and stuff, takes the dog to the dog friendly bars around and whatnot, on the patio restaurants and stuff, so shouldn't be too bad, I hope. So went ahead and I said I'll reach out afterwards, reach out to my father-in-law, let him know we're going to take off, and set a time to leave for the doctor. He was good. So we got the dogs all situated, he's good to go. Headed out and loaded up the one dog with me, so I left 3 dogs at home, and they're all just hanging out, just doing fine. I told my mom I was taking off and I was leaving the 3 dogs behind, and if they get to playing rough, which the dogs are there, I don't see that being an issue. So if they get to playing too excitable, separate one in the bedroom or put one in the yard, or which one's put out where and whatnot, kind of how to rotate them. So she said, okay. So I headed out, grabbed the father-in-law. We headed up to the doctor's appointment, which is all the way up in Ormond, which is where he used to live. So I don't mind making that trip up there as much. I used to make it all the time when he lived there. So it's not as bad, but it still sucks. So get up there, drop him off. I just go park in the shade. There's a little bit of shade, not great, but parked the truck, went and sat down by a little retention pond they got there, where their water runs off, and watched the dog kind of chase lizards and stuff around, having a good time there. So I had a couple ladies pull in. I don't know where they're going, because they started walking on the sidewalk and they didn't go very far. So, but they came over and saw the dog. They both wanted to come say hi to the dog, and I said he sometimes jumps on people, but I've been working on it, and he didn't jump on him, which was awesome. I was super excited he didn't mess that up, so that was good. So we had a nice little chat with that. They pet the dog for a little bit and we talked for a while. I finished my cigar up. Finally said he was ready to go. So I said, I'm here, I'll come pick you up. So I drove around the backside where the office is. He got in the truck, and we had some good conversations about whether or not he should get a dog or cat and how I think that would go. And he asked me, because I'm going to ask something, I need an honest opinion. I said, are you ready for the honest opinion? And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, okay, because most people don't want to know the truth. So I told him what my concerns were. And I said, him getting a dog or a cat is between him and his daughter. It's like, I don't think he's able to take care of it at a level. And part of me is like, you need to hire a housekeeper or somebody to come in, kind of do a little better taking care of your house and whatnot. And I think what's going to happen is, especially if it's like a cat, it's going to fall on us. And if it's me, 100% I guarantee he's paying me. That's my job. I'm not doing that work for him for nothing. But it's going to fall on my wife, I think, to change the litter boxes and scrub litter boxes and all that kind of stuff, because I just don't see him doing it, at a standard that needs to be done to keep the house from stinking like shit. So who knows? We'll see what happens. But I told him, I said, if you find a dog for him he wants, then he can handle and stuff, I'll get the yard tightened back up, because the fences kind of went to shit since I haven't been living there the last year and a half. A couple spots in the fence need to be rebuilt. I can rebuild that. I said, can't see any reason why it costs more than $500. Might only cost $20. I don't know. But worst case scenario, I can patch everything I need out there for $500, including new gates. Don't think it's gonna be the case. I said, the big thing is that sliding glass door in the back gets gummy and doesn't work great. And I don't know what that's gonna cost to replace. Not something I want to personally take on. Part of me thinks like I'm pretty certain I can do it, but I don't think I want to. So it's one of those things. I got so many dogs here at my house that it's a pain in the butt to be over there for a couple days trying to knock that door out in order to make it work. So who knows? We'll see what happens and go from there. But I said, going in and out the backyard, out that back door is going to be your biggest problem. So, and then he talked about driving again, and I said, I don't ever see a time you're going to be driving on the street again. I think the abuse of the morphine I think it messes with your brain, and you often forget what you're saying. You don't know what you're trying to say. You completely forget 100% when you're talking. Now imagine if that was the brake pedal, you forget you're supposed to hit the brake pedal. You often forget where you're going. So I can't imagine ever letting you drive again. Now, if your daughter lets me buy her a Jeep or something, like a little toy we can go play off road with, even a brand new Bronco, take you out in the Ocala woods, let you drive around the woods and play in some mud and stuff, all for that. But let you drive on the street around people, I can't see it. Even talked about getting him a golf cart, but the fear of that is, yeah, he's not going that fast, but if he pulls out in front of somebody, that person swerves to miss him, because that's your instinct, they could run over somebody else or cause another accident, hit a motorcyclist, God knows what. So not something I want to be responsible for at that point. So I don't want to have that on my conscience to know that I assisted in making a decision that thought he was safe to drive when he's not. So got that all done, got back, had a good conversation. Before I even left there, they texted and said they're on my way back from Mayo, and I said I'm still at the dock stop. All he knows is I know I'll head back, give him a heads up, so I should be home about 45 minutes. We hit a shit ton of traffic, which most likely they'd hit the same traffic, they're coming up north also. So I texted him when I got here, said, hey, I'm home, and forgot to say, go ahead and text me when you get here, because I got home, got the dogs out, got the puppy back in the house, everything was good, we were playing stuff, and then they showed up, pick up the dog, and apparently they came up and knocked on the door, rang the doorbell, whatever. I didn't hear the doorbell, so I'm not sure what they did. But mom saw him, so mom let her in. And it's that annoying part. I told mom, don't open the back door to the yard because of the dogs and stuff. And especially if you got somebody else in the house, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, you have a phone in your hand, text me kind of thing. But thinking into it, got the dog in there, got her dog inside. The dog was just hanging out on the footstool with me. Her little dog was having so much fun with that collie. Oh my God, they're having the greatest time of their life. So, but yeah, we got that done. Gave her dog back, talked with our dogs there, talked about all the fun they had. We chatted a little bit. She headed out, and then went and got my run in, got down my run, got back, grabbed myself a shower, and then wife got home from work. Or actually before she got home from work, I had texted the guy that was wanting to do the meet and greet, that wants me to watch his dog for like a month. And I said, hey, I'm free if you want to come over and do the meet and greet right now. And he goes, okay, I'll be there in 15, 20 minutes. And like 11 minutes later, he showed up, which is good for me because we got him in and out of there quicker. But I didn't know he was going to be that early. So he had that little, oh shit. So I rushed to get the dogs all back outside real quick, get that done, and then meet him. And his dog is a little hyper, but she calmed down decently. But a little hyper, and I think she'll be fine. And like I told the guy, I said, man, if you would let me know on like Wednesday or something earlier like this, I would have requested a meet and greet, or at least an overnight single stay. See how she does and how she interacts here without you around. Would have made her life a lot easier to know 100%. So right now I'm sitting in a situation where I'm not 100% certain how she's going to do. So you're going to be in New York, I'm here with her. do you have anybody that can take her if this goes completely sideways? Like, is there a shelter? Is there not a shelter, but a professional boarding company, something like that? You can put them, it's like a crate. They lock them in a cage, lock them in a room. So he goes, well, my neighbor, he's a really good friend of mine and stuff, he has access to my house. He has keys to the house. Worst case scenario, he can come pick the dog up, and then he just go let her out 3 or 4 times a day. And I said, worst case scenario, I can go do the same thing if it gets that bad. I can't do it. I can go over and let her in and out multiple days, times a day, and help if he's not gonna be around, kind of thing. So we talked, had a good time with it, and it was good. Like I said, met the dog. Dog was super sweet. She calmed down. She's a licker and she's a jumper. And I said, well, I guarantee I'll fix the licking before you get back home. Might not have the jumping fixed, but I'll have the licking fixed, because I do not tolerate dogs that lick around me. That pisses me off. So, but she's a super sweet little dog, and I think we'll have a good time. I think she'll have fun. So I didn't have any problems with that. So they headed out. My wife said she was on her way home. I'm like, hey, just so you know, the meet and greet's coming soon. She goes, should I wait? I said, absolutely not. You come home whenever you want. Just, it's going to be for one dog. It's not a big deal. You can just come in and whatever. So she had more stuff at work to finish. She got home after that guy had already left. Actually, that guy left. I texted, hey, he's gone. She goes, okay, I'm heading out already. So she got home shortly after he left, and then we chatted a little bit, and I said, are you ready to have the conversation, or how was your day? Do you want to push it off? And she goes, no, we can have it. I said, absolutely. So I called mom out before dinner, because we were having leftovers, so it wasn't a big deal there. So I went ahead and said, hell with it, and ended up basically having a whole conversation. We sat down and had the dogs inside, and during our conversation, it got a little weird, and the dogs kept getting a little too excited, so I put one of them outside, just because I just kept tired of pushing the dog. It was just up long. So they could tell, dogs sense your anxiety, sense your fears and all that kind of junk. So dogs kept trying to crawl up on top of all 3 of us. So I told mom where I was at, told her all my concerns, told her a lot of my problems, a lot of the issues, told her what I needed. And one of the big things is, apparently I do shit that piss her off and annoys the hell out of her. And I ask her when it happens to tell me, so I'll know what's happening. Says, don't tell me 3 weeks later, because I don't know what the hell I said. Don't know how I said it, don't know what it was. Told her I said I wanted her to be in her life. I'm not renting a room to somebody. She goes, well, I'm happy in my apartment. Treat my room's like an apartment. I'm like, I don't live in an apartment building. I don't live with strangers in an apartment building. That's not how I want to live. She kept saying, well, she's happy and she's content. I'm like, well, I'm going to be selfish here and tell you, I don't give a fuck. I'm not happy. I'm not content. And it's stressing me out, and it's fucking killing me mentally and physically. I don't like this. So we got figured out. So we had a fairly long conversation. It went decent enough up until I asked her, I said, what do you need me to do for this? And she goes, nothing, it's your house. Oh my God, not this shit again. So I don't know if we gained anything. I really don't. Hoping we did. We'll see what happens. And who knows? It is what it is there. So yeah, went ahead and eventually got done with that. I had to go outside, let the dogs out again, got my food all heated up, had herself some dinner. She did sit out and watch a little TV with us, even though she's not eating with us, because apparently the day she had her big fight with me, she somehow magically decided that day that my TV's been too loud for 2+ years she's been living here. TV's too loud because it's the same volume as it's been, and she can't eat after 4:30 in the afternoon. So who the fuck knows? But those 2 things were learned the day of our big fight, which seems rather coincidence, but hey, who knows? So anyway, that's where we're at. And so we got done with the show, got done with dinner, and her and Karen were still in the living room when I headed off to go back outside with the dogs and have myself a nice little evening cigar and go from there. So that's pretty much what happened, and it was just super awkward. I felt like I wanted to throw up the whole damn time. And the best part of the whole thing is, near the end, when I told her what I needed from her, she got all kind of upset and then yelled, I'm not doing it. I'm like, that's not at all what I said. And she goes, that is what you said. I go, no, it's not even close. I looked at Karen, I said, is that what I said? And Karen goes, no. And Karen repeated back, not verbatim, but much more in the spirit of things of what I'd said. And then I asked Mom to repeat it back, and she still didn't have it right. So I told her again, this is what I'm asking for. This is what I'm required of. And the big thing I kept telling her is, I loved having you here. I enjoyed having you here until you started telling me how much I didn't want you here. And that made me see how much you hated, or how much you felt like I didn't want you here. So if that's what you're feeling, maybe you're smarter than me. Maybe you're better than me. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe I don't want you here. And even at the end of all this, after I'm sitting there telling her right to her face, I want you here. I just want you to interact with us like a person again. I also want you to get the hell out of the house and go, I don't know if it's read to old people or go walk down by the river, something. You got to get out of the house. You sit in the house all damn day, never leave the house except for once a week you go to the grocery store, and that's just ridiculous. Or, that's not enough. And you don't even drive there. You just ride in the car and push the cart around. So you're not doing anything outside the house to interact with other human beings, and that's got to change. But she basically, told me again that how this isn't what I thought it was going to be by having her here, and I'm not happy with it. And I'm like, so what you're telling me is you don't believe a damn thing I said. You think I'm such a liar that I'm just lying to you and sabotaging myself. I'm like, I will throw you out in the street to save my marriage. My wife comes before my mother, 100%. And if you think that why would I lie to you? Think I'm that weak of a man? I have to lie to you type shit? I couldn't get it. So, no idea where we're at. No clue. It is what it is. So, yeah, that's where we're at. And kind of up in the air with nothing to know with. So, but had my cigar, played the dogs, headed back in, got the dogs all settled in for the night, and watched a little TV with my wife. I say TV, I mean iPad. Watched another episode of Marvelous Miss Mabel in the bed with my wife, and enjoyed the hell out of that. So anyway, that's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.